What's burning?
I think we just said
Oh, it's clear?
Yep, I think we're good to go. Okay. You got off-road tires.
What are we here for, Isaac?
Oh, we're here for the winch.
The winch? A 9,000 pounder? Ooh, mama. Look at this thing.
Maximum safety. Battle tested.
9,000 pounds. We're trying to get this winch on without my dad knowing. And his house is... Look who's here. Wow, we do have some extra lines. Shall we go get the day boner?
the boner.
The day boner.
Yeah, let's get him.
What up, boys? Dude, I love that. I love that so much.
You know, I had to fit in. You know, I can't do the full Marlboro, so I got to do a
Right.
little something.
Dude, that's so sick.
It's a little more low-key than what me and Scott are going to do to it. I'm going to do the fucking full Ken Block wrap.
Oh, shit.
With the American flag on the hood and, like, the stripes and shit.
Wow.
Good job.
Oh, you haven't seen
Yeah,
it?
dude, this is so sick, too.
Nope.
They both look
I don't think any
awesome.
of us have.
I didn't like it at first, honestly, but it's grown on me.
This looks cool. I
Yeah.
like this.
I was like, because I had it in my mind the way the actual livery is, which is like the whole roof's white.
Oh, yeah.
So I really struck, like, technically this was supposed to be white,
Right.
and we just didn't want to mess with the cheese graters. So, like, when I first saw it, like, I was struggling with the way I envisioned that it should be, but it's grown on me a lot.
Good. I think this looks awesome.
I love the circles on the side, too. And then, like,
Oh, yeah.
this literally looks like
We
a
don't have to
cigarette
go so far
box,
back, so if we turn it around, we're not all
which is,
tight
like,
to
the
trailer.
point, right?
Dude, this looks cool.
Like, everybody
Ray-Ban.
on the rally loved it. I mean, it was a hit for sure.
Haven't seen these.
I was waiting for it, like, you got a few inches, you got a foot? Nothing, just cuckoo.
What's up, brother?
What is that, like, speckled layer?
That's the guide coat. So when I
Guide coat.
sand it, it shows me the high and low spots.
Oh, yeah.
So it's very important once you have it all masked off, you spray that black guide coat. So when you're sanding, you know what's high and what's low.
Right.
Just leave it like that and drive down the road.
Fucking send it, man.
Fucking send it.
Well, now we have 4 people to stand around and watch Isaac do everything.
$100. And then I'll show you the other side of it. That's where it was right here. So check that out.
Oh, damn. Oh, actually.
Yeah, like it was gone. It was missing.
Oh, look at that. Looks nice and smooth.
Hold it. A little bit more. Will it go under there? What's your battery? That's about it.
The battery's good.
Alright, let's leave it there. Yeah.
Oh, this tire's floating.
Once it like goes all the way, then it latches. So then it can't slide
side.
Makes
forward.
sense.
3 inches. That's it. Come back a little bit.
I'm in.
Hey, good work, Tomater.
Tomater.
You bloody.
And so Shelby would have, like, they literally.
How's it going, guys? Isaac here at Woyshnis Garage. We've got this Daytona 65 coupe in here. It's a good friend of ours from Race Exotics. Pretty much bought the car to me because I'm doing his Noble, and we're in the middle of kind of getting the motor rebuilt from another shop. And once we get that back, we'll put it in. But in the meantime, he kind of had me start on this car. We're doing some bodywork. It came all full of Bondo, and it really needed some primer to help seal up the Bondo so it wouldn't create a bunch of moisture to be trapped in there. So I pretty much got it primed and ready to go for paint. I'll need a couple more hours, you know, fine tuning the lines and making sure everything looks good on it. But this is a really, really cool car that has a lot of potential. Don't see him on the road much. It's pretty much Shelby's chassis, and then they had a designer kind of redesign the whole thing when it was competing in Europe against the Ferraris and Lamborghinis way back when. And once they did the redesign, they got a top speed of a little under 200 miles an hour from the previous 160 miles an hour. This car has a lot of potential. It's gonna, I guess, be a drift car once it's all done. But I pretty much have done a bunch of wiring underneath the hood here. Connected all of these that go to the front headlights as well as the motor. So these are all pretty much snipped. So I pretty much got these heat shrink wire butt connectors pretty much tighten up once you heat them. Some people are saying, oh, solder is a good way, but I've heard a lot of bad things with solder in kind of higher vibrating motors and cars that usually are on the track. I guess the solder tends to vibrate loose over time. On the inside, I've got all the wiring for the turn signals, the interior lights, and then everything that connects pretty much to the motor, and then the engine control module. So this is the switch panel that it comes with. So you got your hazards, your headlights, your fan, fuel pump. This is your blinkers, wiper arms, interior lights, parking lights. It's your ignition, and then your turn signals right here, and your fog lamps. So on the back of this, I'm actually going to use these connecting pins. So let's say if I need to remove this whole switch panel in the future, I'm able to just unplug them, and then it's also heat shrinked, so they're gonna be all protected from the moisture. It's gonna be a good amount of wiring on the inside here to do, but I should get it all figured out and then have this thing back on the road. Hopefully sliding sideways on the road, we will see. I've got all the butt connector crimps done. So these are pretty cool. You just crimp them on, and then you use the butane torch to shrink them. On the interior, I've got all of those to strip and crimp. I've got a whole wiring harness that plugs into this engine control module. It's MSD. this little fuel pump issue. I had it all wired up and the fuel pump was not turning on. I'm getting power to it from the switch, and it turns out that the ground that is attached to this mounting bracket wasn't totally grounding. So you can hear it turn on. Get some feel in this thing, then fire it up, and this thing is gonna be ripping. Can't wait to hear how loud it is. All right, got all these contact points cleaned up. I pretty much just used a little bit of sandpaper. And the engine turns, this thing rotates, and it passes electricity through each of the spark plugs at the perfect pattern so it fires up. And here goes nothing. Let me pull some of the plugs out and see what we're looking at. All right, so a few days ago, I noticed that there's a lot of loose bolts on this car. And come to find out, I think I found out why this thing's not starting. So I went to pull spark plugs to see if I fouled them. I go to tighten my first one and it's just finger tight. And I noticed that fuel is dumping out of the spark plug slot. So each one of these was all about finger tight, not even. So without compression, your motor is not gonna run really at all. Let's see if my hypothesis is correct. I'm anticipating it's just gonna fire right up, honestly. If it doesn't, I will be surprised and I'll go to bed. Oh, let me give it some more juice. Ooh. That's not cool. Too much fluid. That was a bit sketch. Try it again. Hopefully some fuck ass shit doesn't happen again. Unreal.
The next day.
Is there good gas in it?
I'm assuming it's brand new gas.
92.
I mean, if you're okay with it, I can have my dad come look at it.
Woo! These guys don't even care.
Just says, I'm sorry.
What? Me, you're like, what the fuck is going on right now?
All right, try that. I think it's got enough gas. You want to suck it down? Crank it.
Well, it started. That's at least one dub today.
I was like trying to think of words to say that it was falling.
The ignition box.
How are we supposed to talk over that anyways?
Yeah.
Well, it's a running motor, kind of.
Sounds good.
What's burning?
This wire's probably,
Sitting on the headers.
unless a different one is. This one was for sure on it. Yeah.
Needs a Shelby.
No.
The next day.
Help me push this side over.
Yeah, I was pointing you over.
One, two, 1, 2. hard because it's like you're holding all the clutch with your foot, and then it's like pushing you back against nothing.
Oh yeah, without a seat in there.
I have seats for it. I just didn't. I'll bring some over.
Does it say got a 5-speed?
Yeah.
So the driver's window opens up all the way, and the passenger window.
No, the deal's out of it. This whole thing comes out, so you can have no wind over here too.
Oh, okay.
Man, I think we should take her on the block right now and send this shit.
Let me just put the.
Oh, now you want to do it?
No, I know I have to like tighten up the suspension. It's like it's just.
Maybe look at it.
No, I'm looking at it.
Maybe just look at the suspension.
The next day.
Interesting how it runs though. Look.
Time to sell it. Just kidding. Oh man. It just wants to spin those back tires. Man, it just like wants to go.
I think it's rolling.
Put a
Oh man.
Dude, that's so sick.